Hello, everyone, and welcome to Café New Canadians. Café New Canadians is our virtual talk show, which is brought to you by the New Canadians TV network. Today, on this virtual talk show, we will be talking about the theme Tap into the Hidden Job Market. And I'm your host, and I'm so pleased to welcome two amazing speakers with us who will be joining and talking about this topic. We have with us Michelle Nadon. She is a career coach and a best-selling author of the book Careers AF. We'll talk about that later. And also we have with us Khatija Qureshi, who is an online LinkedIn trainer. Both of these experts will have so much to share, not just about the hidden job market, job search in general, and will be here to answer all your questions. So welcome to our speakers. And before we start chatting with them, let me just tell you that we'll of course be answering your questions. So if you're joining us here on Zoom, use the Q&A tab to ask your questions. And if you're joining us on YouTube, wherein we are also live streaming this session, you can type your questions in the chat box. Now let's dive deep into the topic itself, how to tap the hidden job market. But before that, how about a quick introduction from the two of you as well? Michelle, could we hear a little bit about yourself? Could you introduce yourself to our viewers today and tell them exactly what you'd be sharing with them? So you might, I believe you're on mute, Michelle.
There we are. Thank you so very much. It's a real delight to be joining you today. I am an executive career coach, and I have been recruiting and placing talent within Canada for the last 20 years. It's been a fantastic trajectory, and I have more experience than I know how to communicate to people. So I'm really happy to be here tonight, and we are going to be discussing how to access the hidden job market in Canada, because Canada is very, very different culturally from anywhere else. And so we're going to share some good pearls of wisdom with you tonight.
Thank you. We're so happy to have you as Khatija. Khatija, how about you?
Yeah, short and brief. I wear two hats. One is online LinkedIn trainer. I help skilled immigrants and newcomers to Canada on how to use LinkedIn to basically shine online in front of targeted audience. And also I'm a social media strategist. I help brands have a tone, brand, and vision, and basically shine online with their authentic personality through organic storytelling and authentic piece of content. So these are two hats I wear, and I'm great to be here to share how you can tap the hidden job market using LinkedIn.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us today. Now, as both of you mentioned, of course, with your experience, your knowledge, there's so much to learn about the Canadian workplace. So why not just begin with that, right? When a newcomer moves to Canada, there's so much to learn about the professional space here. The Canadian workplace is different, and the job search strategy also has to be different. So how about, Khatija, we begin with you. Maybe a couple of things, that are important to kind of note when it comes to learning about the job search space here in Canada?
Okay, it's a very nostalgic question which you asked me, because I also came into Canada as a newcomer in 2016. So I've literally walked that path of tapping the hidden job market using LinkedIn. So overall, I can say, based on my experience of getting into a bridging program and then getting skill-specific first corporate job using LinkedIn within 5 months, and then opening up my own business, getting an award within 2 years. So these were quite big achievements. So my overall career advice to whoever is listening is reframe your mindset when you are a beginner in an environment. I wouldn't say any newcomer, I would say beginner in any space, whether it be an immigrant in a new country, or whether you're moving cities, or you are transitioning from one space to another. So when you're a beginner, accept that you have to unlearn few things to learn new thing of how the nuances of the new space is. As just spoken by Michelle, that as a newcomer in Canada, there are a lot of nuances, cultural, communication, a lot of nuances which which as a newcomer, I had to unlearn to learn the nuances of this new space. And once I accepted, acknowledged, I knew that I will make actions, and I did make actions, and I was successful. So mindset wise, be open, embrace the new land, the new culture, and unlearn to learn new things. So that would be my first mindset advice. Rest I'll leave for Michelle to talk on the tactical parts of careers.
Yeah, and that's a good point. And that kind of actually leads naturally into what I wanted to ask Michelle as well. Unlearning and then learning the nuances here. So could you actually explain that to us? What is there to learn about the Canadian workplace and the job search here, which may be different from, where the different countries that people move from?
Absolutely. So the most important thing approaching the Canadian job market is not to be overly aggressive. You're new to the country, you're raring to go, you want to get in there, you want to meet everybody, you want to do everything. But excuse me, I really suggest that you step back first, okay? You have to be very clear on your goals. And the only way that you'll get clear on your employment goals is if you write them down, okay? Then you need to make sure that you have the right marketing tools. By tools, I mean resume, email signature with full contact information is mission critical. Then you can build out the other elements like cover letters and voicemail messaging and things like that. And then you really need to make an effort to get to know the industry that you want to work in before you dive in. So for each sector in Canadian business, be it health, finance, media, what have you, there is always an association that guides it, like the Canadian Marketing Association or the Canadian Media Producers Association. That is where you're going to find your shopping list for companies. So go find the association, check out their website, see who the sponsors are, see who the partners are, and from there, you start building your job search strategy.
Amazing. But, like you said, of course, these are the tools to have in place when you're searching for a job. Mm-hmm. But as we know, not all jobs are advertised. The jobs that one comes across on all of these portals are probably just a percentage of the actual jobs available. And so many jobs over here are accessed through networking, through LinkedIn, largely networking, right? Wherein through referrals. And that's what exactly the hidden job market is all about. Michelle, would you like to add something to elaborate for our viewers? What exactly is the hidden job market, so to say?
Well, the hidden job market is simply all of the jobs that aren't actually publicly advertised. And in Canada, we work very strongly on word of mouth. And in order to become privy to the jobs that are out there, you need to be actively networking and building what I call your social equity. Your contacts within Canada are a lifeline, and it is a lifetime job. It doesn't get done in 3 months, and it doesn't get done in 5 years. It is an ongoing exercise to study the companies, to look at the departments of the companies that you want to work with, and then study the teams. Then it's a very short step to getting a Canadian to give you an introduction or a third-party referral so that you can have an opportunity to dialogue with the employer concerned.
Yeah.
I just wanted to add point over here. As a newcomer, I can tell you, and like past 6 years, it's a trust-based economy. Mm-hmm. And the referrals are also like they will introduce you to the network when they trust your skill, talents, and abilities. And you have to earn that trust. It's not that one fine day you message someone and they will introduce you, because their credibility also is at stake. So I just wanted to put it out there that it's a trust-based economy, but trust needs to be earned for those introduction, and how you approach a new introduction and build that trust. It happens over a period of time in layers, mutual care and respect. It's like just developing any relationship. So I just wanted to add what Michelle said that.
And Khadija, would you be able to actually share an anecdote or two from your early days, when as a newcomer, you mentioned to our audience, what was it like for you to actually, start building those connections, network with people? Of course, today you're a LinkedIn trainer and an expert at it, but what were the initial days like for you?
Okay, initial days were very overwhelming, I would say. Newcomers come to this new land with 4 suitcases of hope. It's a lot happening in mind. There is coming over here, it's a dream come true. You hear welcome to Canada and all sorts of emotion rises up at airport. But I would say, despite of having those aesthetic roller coaster of emotions, keep yourself grounded. Don't push yourself too hard. Take one day at a time, one step at a time, and as mentioned, unlearn to learn new things. And I think so that piece of mindset would help you go a long way. Quick tip, I would just say, you were mentioning what I did. I can share my experience if anybody can take inspiration. As soon as I landed, I first arranged accommodation, temporary accommodation, till we moved to our permanent accommodation. So during that time, I didn't rush into the job search. I consumed where I was in the environment. I looked around at the facilities where I was living, where is the mall, where are the groceries. So first initial days, I enjoyed myself and knowing the people around me and the spaces around me. And then I got into a bridging program that helped me connect with few people. And knowing a lot of what how I can customize my resume, networking strategies, and then it moved on. So that was how I did, and probably it could be of inspiration to someone.
Yeah, that is such a, if I may, I just want to build on that. That is such a good point to get yourself grounded. And there is in Canada a rhythm and a flow to our work weeks. I always describe it as Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are the real power days for connecting online and doing your research and making job applications as early in the day as possible, like 9 a.m. you want to hit send. By Thursday in Canada, people are starting to lose steam. Mm-hmm. And you, again, when you mention grounding yourself, you cannot do job search 7 days a week. That is counterproductive. So Monday through Wednesday, use those power days to connect and reach out. Thursday, take a little bit of a breather because everybody in offices is too busy and too tired on Thursdays to deal with something new anyway. And then Fridays, here's a great tip for Canada. In my humble experience, Fridays in Canada, the lights are on, but nobody is home. And everybody will do anything to get out of working on a Friday. So Fridays are fantastic days for networking, either boots on the ground in person or networking online. You will always find someone who wants to have a coffee with you on a Friday in Canada.
Yeah. And since you mentioned that, I also wanted to ask you, based on Khadija's newcomer experience or so many newcomers that you yourself have worked with probably, how can they network? So, you said Friday is a great day for a coffee chat. For our viewers, coffee chats or informational interviews would be ways to actually reach out to a person to learn more about a role, a company, or an industry, right? In an informal way over a cup of coffee or over a Zoom or Google Meet chat. So, Michelle, any tips, like 2-3 tips that you'd like to share as to how to kind of approach people for that?
100%. I refer to networking as marketing touchdowns because what Katya said, it is an ongoing trust building and relationship building proposition. So the best thing to do is look on it as marketing touchdowns numbers 1 to 5. You reach out to an individual, marketing touchdown number 1. They accept your request, marketing touchdown number 2. You write them and thank them, marketing touchdown number 3. Then you want to move off of LinkedIn into an email relationship, which is more personal. So you send them an email, marketing touchdown number 4. By the time they respond to you, marketing touchdown number 5, you have officially gone from stranger to known entity. That is a real hallmark right there. And then once you become a known entity and they're happy to have the discussion with you, then it's just another series of marketing touchdowns before you go from stranger to known entity. And then you move from known entity to, oh my God, I love you, you're hired. And that is how it works. It's all marketing touchdowns, like the wheels of a plane that finally grab on the runway.
I like
That's
to
amazing
add,
how you put it. Yeah.
yeah, I loved how she put it. And I would just like to chime in the conversations. I exactly follow what she echoed. But I would rephrase it in a different way. That's how my mind works. Like for relationships, I call that when you are meeting a stranger, like you don't trust that person. So it takes time to move from being just knowing the name, liking the person. Again, you are at the edge. Should I trust him? You don't know that person. And then from knowing, so from being knowing, liking, and then trusting the person. So it's a journey of relationship where people just know you as a stranger. Okay, this person name is there. Then they start liking some of your characters. They're noticing you, and then they trust you. And that's the point where people would be willing to take that risk of introducing you to their network. So I just wanted to chime in what she said.
Yeah. Khadija, so, learning about a person, liking them, and then trusting them. Talk about this entire journey with LinkedIn in mind. So what can a newcomer do on LinkedIn to actually be known and then be liked and then be trusted?
Okay, LinkedIn is usually seen, especially when you are a newcomer. The first thing that I mentioned to my newcomer to Canada clients, or who have just landed and they are still looking for that right role, I always tell them that don't take LinkedIn as just a search engine. Yes, it's a search engine, but it has a lot of other things around it as well. There is human behind the profile who ultimately will be coming onto your home. So there are a lot of things that you need to be heedful of. So to take that journey of being known, like and trusted, the first thing is your LinkedIn home. Your LinkedIn home is basically your LinkedIn profile. If anybody doesn't know what LinkedIn profile is just like you on Facebook, you have a page with your name. So that's what a LinkedIn profile is. It has your picture, it has like a cookie cutter LinkedIn 10 sections that you need to fill in. And basically it speaks what your skills, talent, experiences, and abilities are. So first you need to build your home right. With a lot of content in 10 plus sections, so that it speaks to the LinkedIn bot, that you come in the LinkedIn searches, you enable the right features, that it's optimized. And then once your home is ready, you're ready to host the party. You're ready to host the eyeballs. It's just like hosting a party. Your home is furnished. You have best crockery. You have best eatables. Now you want to welcome, and you're looking forward for people to knock and you welcome them. So now once your LinkedIn home is ready, it has all the content in 10 plus section optimized. Now go and create some content. That's the second stage. First stage is LinkedIn profile optimization. It will help you get known to a stranger. They will somehow get an idea of who you are. But then you need to exhibit expertise. That's the stage 2, LinkedIn content creation. By content creation, I mean post an article to exhibit your expertise. Now, with this two combo of LinkedIn profile optimization and content creation, you are literally moving from being just known face to being liked, because they are liking your personality. They are liking that you have walked the talk.
They're engaging with your content.
Yeah. And then you start reaching out to the people, targeted people that you want to network with. And here I say targeted people because I know newcomers have very limited time, resources, and energy. And I'll repeat that. Newcomers have very limited time, energy, and resources. They are on a clock down because their personal savings are they are dwindling. So they want that job ASAP. So targeted approach, targeted people, but in an authentic and organic way over a period of 1 to 2 months, that you become known, like, and trusted. And communication, how you approach them, all plays a very vital part. So that's what I was saying. Newcomers need to change that mindset, because back in the countries where we are coming from, LinkedIn was not treated the same way. Here in Canada, recruiters are passively searching for talent, very, very actively for unpublished job market on LinkedIn, and they are vetting talent in the published job market. So LinkedIn is a deal breaker for unpublished hidden job market, and it's essential for vetting you as a talent, for social proofing, for published job market. So you need to be on LinkedIn to be known, like, and trusted. And how it can happen, I have just shared the 3-step process.
Yes.
And
Go ahead, please.
I'd like to add some more on LinkedIn as well. First of all, you have to watch your timing on LinkedIn, okay? There is no point doing postings on Friday afternoons or on Saturdays or on Mondays. Your optimal times are Tuesdays and Wednesdays, mid-morning to mid-afternoon. So you get all the lunchtime traffic of everybody who's at work and they're checking their LinkedIn feeds. Second of all, a great way to make friends on LinkedIn is to like and comment on other people's posts. And the best thing to do is to share relevant posts with your growing network, because who doesn't like being liked? And who doesn't like being shared? And we will always remember those people that support us. Well, they will remember you if you support them as well. So those are critical marketing tactics to use on LinkedIn. And the last thing I want to mention about LinkedIn is this. I did not know this for the longest time, but you need recommendations on your profile. And the more recommendations and endorsements that you get, the higher you rank in the algorithms when you're applying for jobs on LinkedIn. So it's not enough to get one recommendation or two. You should really try to build as many as you can. And don't forget, every newcomer that comes to Canada, they think they're starting from scratch. You're not. You are bringing your life's experience to Canada. You should be proud of that. You should find ways to showcase that. Don't hide it and, take a really junior job when you were handling all of the marketing at the C-suite level in your country of origin. That is not necessary or required. So don't negate your past experience. By all means, get in there, participate, like, comment, and share. You will make friends fast.
I can speak for so many people. I'm sure that, so many of the people attending today and who will watch the session later needed to hear that. That, it's not necessary that you need to start at the entry level. There's so much that you bring with you, and that's not to be forgotten ever. And also the recommendation part, that ties back to what Khatija was saying about building that trust. And just to remind, Khatija, I'll just come back to you, but just to remind our audience today as well, that, the reason why we're kind of diving deep into networking and LinkedIn as a tool is because these are the two essential, and correct me or add here, both of you, please, if these are the foundations for accessing the hidden job market that we're discussing, right? Mm-hmm. So is there something, Khatija, you wanted to add something, I believe?
Yeah, it's just that we are doing conversations and topics are coming up. And I just wanted to add what Michelle said, that to newcomers, and I am directly talking to you, as Michelle has said, you are a newbie in a new space. Forget that you are a new immigrant. Take this as a new space, as if you're transitioning from one career to another career. A lot of people does that over here. So you're coming to a new space. Don't discount your skill, talent, and abilities, which you have got from your international experience. Probably the space is changing, but your transferable skills are still the same. You are bringing that level of expertise. So please, please, please. I have been there, and I know you need to be guided or be consciously reminded of be proud of what you're bringing and never ever discount that. And that gets reflected in how you approach the other person. If you are confident, believe you me, even the text that you're writing on LinkedIn, it sends that vibe. I have coached so many newcomers, and that has, they literally, their content changed, reflecting them as confident, only speaking about their skill, talent, and abilities, and not about where they got it from, the geographic region. They only focused on what solutions they're bringing on the table to solve the pain points of the employer. So that's the approach you need to have, and be confident and carry that things with pride that you're bringing to this beautiful country. So just wanted to add there. And Shruti, I'm just wanted to recap what specific question you asked.
No, I mean, I'm saying that, the two foundations, or actually what becomes the foundation for accessing the hidden job market, is actually networking. And LinkedIn is one of the most essential tools out there to be actually able to do that. Would you add something to that list as to what is essential to be able to access the hidden job market?
Okay, I will just give an immediate example of which just happened yesterday. Michelle was talking about that you have to be constantly networking, and it's an ongoing thing. So for past 6 years, each month I have a quota. I have to connect with 2 people based on targeted goals I have. So I have been doing, it was not that I got my job, I'm into business, I have clients, I should stop networking. No. So this, a 6-year-old connection came back to me, asked me and inquired me about my services, and we are having a chat. So this is an example of how your network can come back to you even over a period of time. Also, another example is another connection had an unpublished job, and he came back to me and he said, Khatija, you know skilled immigrant community, so can you refer me someone? And I knew just the right talent. I connected, and within a week, a newcomer who didn't had a job is landed a job in skill-specific C-suite startup. So that's how unpublished and hidden job markets help. So networking is ongoing. Coming on LinkedIn as a newbie, I will talk about few of the things untalked or under the carpet mistakes newcomers make, and I want to give them a heads up. The first thing I feel that I did unconsciously, because these are under the carpet rules. First thing is that LinkedIn is a professional world. You need to be mindful that whatever you speak, say in comments, there is a digital footprinting. And I wanted to quote, and I basically saw one of the posts of a recruiter, Zarina. She is an Amazon tech recruiter. And she said, I would quote unquote, that I stalk my candidates on LinkedIn. I literally don't do that, but I check each and everything, like digital footprinting. And from recruiter's lens, she said that I first look at the sections, take an overall view of the personality, of technical skill sets. Then I go to their post sections. Post sections gives me indication whether this person is open to learning. And what are his expertise. Then I check the companies he's following, groups he is in, because that's tell a lot about their passion, their interest. Because here in Canada, cultural fit might be an overused word, but recruiters are looking for people who can fit in an environment, because ultimately you have to work in a group setting. So
exactly.
So she mentioned an example that Amazon believes in few things like immigrant, Black Lives Matters, LGBT, inclusivity, diversity. She said that one candidate I was vetting had a comment which was not gelling with this. So why would I waste his time to be in a group where his values are not aligning, because he will come across with internal programs and people who support. So there will be a conflict. So he might be a better off in another environment. So what I'm trying to say that she vet companies, groups, and posts to know a little bit about overall. Then she mentioned that I literally go and see the matching of resume with LinkedIn experience, the dates, the company, the education, they need to align. And she has said that passively, I've reached out to hundreds of people. If I get like convinced, then I introduce them to hiring managers. And that's how hidden job market passively she fills in the seats. So I just wanted to take you through this, that all of these touch points needs to be done thoughtfully. And I give the stage to Michelle if she wants to add on something.
You touched upon so many things. Thank you for that. But yes, Michelle, could I actually ask you a question out of some of the things that Khadija mentioned?
Sure.
At some point she mentioned skills, abilities, talent. It's so essential to be able to talk about that and display that to anyone that you're reaching out for a job, whether it's a direct recruiter or employer, or it is a connection that you have made, because those are the people who will actually be able to talk about your abilities and refer you to employers, right? So regarding this, what are some of your tips? And of course, if you had something else to add as well, I would welcome that. What are some of your tips to be able to market yourself the right way to a recently formed connection, so that they can at some point down the line refer you to, someone who's looking to fill a vacancy?
Well, marketing yourself requires a strategy. And normally what people do is they make one attempt and then they sit back and they wait and see what happens. Okay. You need to be proactive in that process. And as soon as you hit send on whatever you're sending, whether it's an email, a LinkedIn connection, or what have you, you want to automatically have a plan for what your next move is going to be. And then what's going to happen after that move. Okay. The initial outreach may die on the desk. It may come to fruition. We don't know, but we want to have more than one action step. Now, general rule of thumb, I got lots of ideas here, so I want to cover off as much as I can. General rule of thumb, 1 to 5 years in business, you're entry level. 5 to 10 years, you are mid-management. 10 to 15 years experience, you are senior management, and 15 and up, you're hitting executive. So when you know where you stand on the continuum, if you have 15 years experience at home, you are a senior level player and you don't want to misrepresent yourself otherwise. Next point, that's positioning. Relationships depend on constant renewal. Little anecdote. Back in 1994, I was assigned a job at TV Ontario, where I had to go and look at all the executives and what they were doing, and we were going to make a piece of tape about them, an hour-long documentary. So I made my little chart on TVO, and I got the people's names and titles. Okay, there was about 8 or 10 executives. All right, that started in 1994. By 2006, I had 16,000 people in my database. 2006. Now, that didn't get built overnight, but it got built, okay? So I keep track of everybody. I rehearse their full names. I try to remember the teams at companies. Then, here's another fun tip. December in Canada, again, the lights are on and nobody's home, all right? I take December to do all of my planning for the next year professionally, cleaning up my desktop, cleaning up my files, but I also go through my database and I have a look at who I haven't connected with recently or this year, and I send them a little note. Enjoy the holidays. I was thinking of you today. And once you're actually a known entity with these companies, you would never believe how much Canadians want to hear from you for non-professional reasons. You can, I could call Shruti up in December and just say, "Hi, Shruti, it's Michelle Nadon giving you a call. We haven't touched base in months. You crossed my mind this morning. I was wondering how you're doing. Shoot me a call if you've got a few minutes." Boom. Friendly, open, social, speaks Canadian. So relationships depend on constant renewal. Don't lose track of a single person in your circle, because they are all going to bring you, they're all social equity. And eventually one of them or 10 of them is going to come up with a job for you.
That's a template right there, what you shared, Yeah,
Just, just wanted to share. I am loving these conversations from one thing to another. What Michelle said, that relationships need renewal. They need care, respect over a period of time. Even the person I met 6 years back, I was in constant touch with him on LinkedIn. And that's the beauty of LinkedIn. Like COVID has happened and it has restored our faith in digital world. So just sharing few stats about LinkedIn. People, recruiters, professional community, thanks to COVID in one way, unfortunately for other reasons, but fortunately, the attention of recruiters and professional community in engagement for past 2 years have increased drastically. This means that the time they are spending digitally, not only recruiters for their work, but professionals are spending time to social networking, because LinkedIn has evolved from being just a job search website. That's a big myth that we bring from our country, that's just a job search website. No, in Canada, it's a social networking site. People are talking about their personal lives, how they're trying to do work-life balance. They're talking about dogs, they're talking about pizzas, they're talking about their family, how they're managing stuff. So it's a social networking platform, and to the people that you want to connect with, targeted people that you want to connect with. Going back to what relationship building is, that you need to personalize them. Mindset that you need to come on LinkedIn is value mindset. I call these LinkedIn etiquettes, that for any relation, it needs to be all about them. It needs to be all about, it's like dating. When you're dating the other person, they don't trust you in the first blind date. You need to go back, know the person, their hobbies, fun facts, and try to impress them and show care you genuinely love through small action. Then over a period of time, they start trusting you and that relationship. So you can do that very nicely. Michelle has already shared that strategy. Use commenting, because again, LinkedIn is the most underrated and the only social media network which has feature which allows even the free profile to comment on other profiles. In Facebook, Instagram, you need to have that connection. Yeah. And then only you get that visibility and that comment sharing a feature. So if the person is active, start commenting. I call that e-comment communication. Start commenting there, but comments should not be very fluffy. Thanks for sharing. Very inspirational. It needs to have weight. You need to exhibit what you bring on the table. Of course, it depends on what the discussion is. And after that, after a little bit of pep talk through comment conversation, then try to hit that connect button. But connect button shouldn't be like, I have seen a job, can you introduce me to someone in your network who is hiring? It should not be about an ask. Again, going back to the mindset that you are there to add value so that they start trusting you. So that in that invite, try to talk about any mutual interest that you have, research a little bit about them, any fun fact. That invite needs to be all about them, the first icebreaker part. And then probably you can talk about that you're coming from the space of learning, getting some inspiration. Don't ask for job, don't ask for introduction, don't ask anything. It's like knocking as a stranger or someone knows silently. Nobody would let you in. Believe me, in Canada, nobody would let you in. So similarly, have some pep talk through comment conversation, then hit that highly customized piece of invite, and then do more comment communication, and then do the jamming up in DM. Again, in DM, you have to make it easier for them to help you. It should not be very open-ended message that this is my resume, whatever job comes up, please let me know. Sure. No, they will forget you. So there needs to be a way, there is a method to a madness. I cannot tell everything, but your DM should also be to help them help you. So that is it. I'll let Michelle speak now.
No, I'm glad that, both of you are adding to each other's thoughts, because that's the aim through a discussion like this. It's a virtual talk show, and that's what we want. But bringing both of the things that you said, both of you, what you said, back to, hidden job market. Networking is essential to be able to access the hidden job market. LinkedIn, of course, as a tool, how you use it is essential again. maybe the question that I'd like to throw at the both of you is also something that, someone shared with us before this session. They sent us a question. How can one actually find out about the hidden jobs? So I know that, of course, one has to be in somebody's referral network or recommended by someone. But how do I know that there are hidden jobs out there? Who to reach out to? Should it be companies? Michelle?
Okay. So building on what we've discussed so far, it's a process with LinkedIn. You're relationship building, you're starting small, you're being humble, you're making it all about them. What I referenced earlier is once you get reasonably comfortable with someone online, that's when you move the relationship over to email, okay? And you want to start being able to have a more personal conversation by email. So that's a critical juncture in your relationship that you really want to pay attention to and you want to leverage, okay? And then it's simply, you reach out and you say to them, it's so great connecting. As you know, I'm brand new here. I was wondering if I could send you, I wanted to enclose a copy of my resume so you have it on hand. And if I could ask, perhaps you could let me know if you hear of any positions coming down the pipe in your company. If you could give me a little heads up, I'm happy to compete fairly for them, but getting a little heads up on something happening would be really great. And that's called intel sharing. So once you've got that little bit more trusting relationship, it's okay to be new. It's okay to ask for a favor. Return the favors later. You got plenty of time, okay? And everyone knows that. It's a case of, it's the principle of reciprocity. It's going to happen anyway. But in the beginning, don't be afraid to ask for help, okay? Don't get out there and be all brave and super professional and I can't make a mistake and spend 9 hours constructing an email. I mean, just don't do that to yourself. Loosen up, make your ask, and you will find Canadians are very, very generous and warm and giving, except for like a certain elite group. But other than that, we really are a very warm people and we do love to help. So ask for the help and take it and give back later.
Yeah. So Michelle, what would be your top do and top don't when it comes to, being able to kind of access the hidden job market? If I were to ask you for one each, and then I'll come to Khadija for the same.
My absolute deal breaker is if you want to conduct business with me, don't do it over LinkedIn. Mm-hmm. Find to connect, find to be social, but you send me a message on LinkedIn, I might not get to it for 3 days. So if you want to conduct real business with me, get into my email, okay? And put your full contact information on your profile. There's nothing more frustrating to a recruiter than going into your profile and there's no email, there's no mobile number. How the heck am I supposed to get a hold of you? Those are my tips off the top.
Make it easier for the other person, basically.
Please.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And what's the one thing that you would say, do not do? Just don't do it.
Don't conduct business over LinkedIn.
Yeah.
Move it to email, because on LinkedIn, you can't file your responses comfortably. You can't keep the thread of a conversation if you're talking about deal points or you're moving towards some kind of collaboration. LinkedIn is lousy for recording that. We need records, and the best way to keep records is just file them in their email folders. So please, if you're doing serious business, move off of the social platform and be a professional and document your stuff on email.
Amazing. Yeah. Khadija, coming to you with the same question. So what is the top one thing that one should do based on everything that we've discussed, if you had to narrow it down to the one thing, and then something that one should definitely stay away from?
Okay, I have a lot, but
let's begin with one for now, and then we could come back to the others.
The first one I've already shared. The mindset part, be ready to learn, to unlearn. That's done. So I've already shared that. So my top tip apart from that is expect make that move. You don't need to be perfect. Progress is the way forward. So you don't need to wait for that perfect piece of content, perfect piece of picture. You can take a picture from your phone in front of natural light and put it on your LinkedIn profile and still be professional. You can still, you don't need to have that perfect English, because all immigrants come with English as second language. It would be great if it is your first language. So don't shy away from start creating content on LinkedIn. So top tip, don't seek perfection, seek progress in anything. And as Michelle has already shared, that's the second tip. I am just reiterating what she said, that reach out to people. Don't hide yourself back because you're a newbie. No, reach out to targeted people. And you were asking me how they can find the companies. On LinkedIn, there is the most underrated feature, which newcomers, I know, they don't use it, because whenever I talk about it, it's an aha moment.
Let's have that moment here.
That's LinkedIn search bar. It's the holy grail of finding people. LinkedIn search bar gives, even on a free account, gives you so many filters to find targeted people. They can be alumni from your institutions back from your origin country, and they are over here. So bingo, you have an icebreaker for your connection invite. They could be employees that they were in your origin country. Boom, you got an icebreaker. So please use the filters of LinkedIn search bar, write keyword searches that you want to, around the space you want to nurture and grow in, and you will get so much of content out there of recruiters, hiring managers who are like, for example, I am newly exploring cybersecurity because I have a lot of clients who are being hacked, XYZ. So it's a new space I wanted to learn. So I just go on LinkedIn search bar, write few keywords, and bingo, there were so many people writing the content. So what I'm trying to say is that use LinkedIn search bar to filter out people you already know, and you can use those connections and find even new people. Like a lot of recruiters, hiring managers are daily posting something with hashtags. So use relevant hashtags to even know of a published job market and even unpublished job market on LinkedIn, because a lot of connections, I know they are even putting it out there to their connections first before they're publicly posting it. So use LinkedIn search bar to connect with the right people and leverage your old relationships, which you probably might find in the space that you want to nurture in. And the big don't, the top one, I know I have done it, I have been there, but I have to call it out. When you are DMing as a newcomer, you need to use local language. So there are certain things which I would highly suggest. I get a lot of DMs saying, you can call out people in Canada by their first name. I know where we are coming from, it's not respectful. But again, as I said, you have to unlearn few things to learn few things. So it's professionally okay to address people in Canada by their first name. So you can start off with dear first name. And now they even have pronouns visibility on LinkedIn. So if you have to refer them as she, he, they, that's also visible. So you can be inclusive, and that all gets reflected and these subtle send signals to the other person that you have done your research. And acceptability of their first name is more than writing hello ma'am or hello, whatever salutation you're writing. So that's the first, that's the don't that I want to share, that the salutation part, if you customize it, it would increase the visibility and acceptability as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to build on that as well.
Sure.
One of the best things that you can do is to remember that your name at the end of the day is your brand. When you're leaving a message, make sure that you pause between your first name and your last name. A lot of people from other countries speak really quickly, and it's very hard to understand. So you've got to be super clear. Even when I introduce myself, and most people in Canada know me at this stage of the game, I'll just say, Good morning, it's Michelle Nadon calling from Media Intelligence. Always put a space in there. Your name is your brand. Your name and your full contact information on everything coming off of your desk, okay? That's going to go a long ways.
And in so many ways, all that the both of you said kind of takes it back to one of the first things we discussed, which was to be able to understand and access the hidden job market in Canada. One also needs to understand how the job search functions. What's the Canadian workplace like? And, taking a leaf from what Khadija just said, it's so much to do with trust. It's so much to do with building that connection. And it's so much to do with knowing exactly how you will be. When you talked about salutation and when you talked about inclusivity, these are all different facets that kind of build your personality in a way that's the kind of employee people are looking for as well. So you're preparing yourself through your job search for, the workplace that eventually you'll land up in. Khadija, coming to you, this would be also, so, with this, I'd also request you to maybe share if there is a motivational message that you have for the viewers, or if there is a final tip for success that you would like to add with what you're saying for the viewers, and then I'll come back to Michelle before we close.
Okay, one quick feature I would want to say, because LinkedIn has a great feature where you can leave a voice note on your LinkedIn profile. So a lot of people are using it to pronounce how you pronounce your name. So that's another feature that you can use, that while you're going in an interview or an informational meeting, learn how to pronounce their name. These all nuances tells that you are making an effort to know the other person. And believe me, it shows that you're embracing the new land. It shows you're integrating, and it's sending the message to the other person. You are settling in. You are embracing the new land. Okay, coming to the last message I want to say again, which I started with, mindset part. All of these things are good tactics, strategy. All of these it's fine. But if your mindset is not at the right place, nothing works. So what I'm going to leave with, you are coming in the new land, be ready to be friends with fear of unknown. You have to get out of your comfort zone, whether it be from your own community in GTA. If you're coming in Toronto, there are communities, diverse communities in geographical areas. Get out of your communities, get to know other people, other cultures. So that's just a starting point. Even in your job search strategy, if you are uncomfortable with networking, and now in-person events are coming back, that's the law of the land. You need to come out of it, and bridging programs, which settlement agencies offer, are a good starting point to learn few things. And then there are different other resources online. Coaches are there who can guide you. So what I'm trying to say is that be ready to be friend and be friend of fear of unknown. And that's the only place that you will grow. And I wish everybody all the best. And believe you me, I have been connecting with newcomers. I host newcomer events. Lots of things I do on this front. And I can tell you, people I have met 6 years back, 5 years back, 4 years back, 3 years back, they landed exactly where they wanted to be. Within 6 months, it happens, but you need to be persistent. You need to grow, network. You will get what you want. Ultimately, I'm leaving with this. I'll pass it on to Michelle now.
Thank you, Khadija.
Wonderfully
piece of
stated.
advice.
Wonderfully stated. A couple of things motivationally that I really want to cover here. First of all, you're not looking for permission to belong. You already do. Okay? You're a member of the human race. You belong. That's all there is to it. And if anyone treats you like you don't belong, you don't want to work with them anyway. All right? So, as they like to say in self-help programs, stick with the winners. Find the winners and stick with the winners. Second of all, you don't know me from Adam. Okay? You don't know that I am clinically diagnosed with chronic post-traumatic stress disorder. You do not know that I have a terrible anxiety problem. You do not know that I was put on the street when I was 15 years old with no education. I had to make it on my own. Okay. Anything is possible, and I'm living proof. I have built 2 businesses. I have sterling credentials across both my industries. I am happy as can be with my work, and I've built it all myself. And if I can do that, you can too. All you got to do is get active on the front end of handling your career. Don't wait for it to show up. Sit down, write up your goals, own them. Develop your marketing tools so that they really appropriately represent you. And then get out there and make friends. Every person is someone you're waiting to make friends with. So get out there and make friends, and the rest will fall into place quite naturally. If you need any support whatsoever, check out my website, grab a copy of my book. There's also a great toolkit on my website that can really help you with best practices for cover letter writing and all the stuff that you need. So avail yourself of that. And please know, I am here all of the time. Unless I'm dead, I'm here. Contact me. I will do anything to help you out, and it would be my pleasure.
I'll just share
Thank
one
you.
tip, which is coming out from my personal experience as a newcomer. Find a buddy, find an accountability group, or find just a circle to talk about your experiences. That was one thing I didn't do, but I will highly recommend in settlement agencies, bridging program, go on Facebook groups. You will find circles of newcomers who have just landed. And once you find person who is walking just beside you, you will know you're not alone, and you both will learn from each other. So that's my last tip. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And anybody can reach out to me on LinkedIn. Just search for Khatija Qureshi and you will find me. Thank you.
Thank you so much to both of you, Michelle and Khatija, for being just amazing human beings to begin with, honestly, and to have, of course, shared so much of information and resources with our viewers today. This was a session of Café New Canadians, which is brought to you by New Canadians TV Network. We are a network that has a TV show, a YouTube channel, a website, and lots of other ways that you can reach out to us and have our information. And of course, for the speakers, they mentioned, Michelle has a book that she mentioned, and of course, Khatija also has, and both of them are on LinkedIn as well. You can see their information on your screens. And as they said, feel free to connect with them and reach out to them for support and for resources and more knowledge. I've already told you about New Canadians, but we'd love to, of course, be connected with you. And the best way would be our social media channels across. And also we have a newsletter. That is a monthly newsletter that you can subscribe to. With that, we've reached the end of this session. Thank you so much. And we'll hopefully see you in the next session. Thank you.